Welcome back, Video Creeps. So this video was inspired by my oldest son, Adam. We had a conversation recently and it just got me thinking. So this video is dedicated to him. And I'm talking to all of you. So just let me talk my bullshit. Can I spit my shit? I guess I want to start by just reminding you to give people their flowers. It never has to be a grand display of affection or like this huge monetary representation of your gratitude for someone in your life. All it takes is acknowledgement. Life can be so difficult sometimes, and it always feels like life is its hardest at the most inopportune times. And it can get so dirty and it can feel so personal, especially in those really heightened moments of stress, especially when it feels like those natural ebbs and flows are coming in the form of all these misshaped currents that seem to just be directed at you. And if you're lucky, you can reach inside yourself and you can harness some inner strength. And that strength can push you through even when you know it's going to be difficult. And you showcase your bravery. You take all that weight on and you just fucking ground yourself. And you take bullshit hit after hit. And somehow you find yourself maintaining your balance. Just gritting your teeth and showing how fortuitous you really can be. And sometimes in that process, you get to reflect in the moments of your recovery from it. And you can feel this overwhelming pride for proving yourself to yourself. You walk away just knowing the test of your will. But sometimes you can find yourself feeling really isolated and fucking tired because it takes a lot of effort to be that strong. And in those moments, that's when you need good people in your life. And I'm not just talking about good people who are going to boost you up. I'm talking about people who are going to hear you, people who are going to see you. It takes time, but there's a thin line between identifying a flirty little pick-me-up from a friend who's trying to eliminate your frown and receiving someone's genuine and deep validation and understanding. The catch-22 is, how the fuck do you find people who are going to fit in your life to offer you that true affirmation? You see so many people struggle with this. It's like this mystery. No one fully understands. How do you make real friends? How do you create this gravitational pull that promotes positive intention and genuine connections? Well, like most things, it starts with yourself. It starts with knowing yourself before you can even attempt to know another person. It's almost like having a huge plate of food in front of you and putting more food on your plate before you've even taken your first bite. Don't do that. Eat your fucking food. I've seen so many friends and family just struggle, man. And no matter what the situation is, it always goes back to that center. It feels like people just walk around the thing that they need to address, and it's right in the middle of everything. Now, I'm not saying that you should know yourself before you're even able to make connections. Life is nowhere near that organized or fair. Time waits for no man. And people will filter in your life and they will filter out. And not one of them have the responsibility of being in tune to your internal emotional clock. What I'm talking about is honesty and learning the tools to share yourself fully. And sometimes that shit is scary because to be so open, it leaves you open, right? It leaves you exposed, you're vulnerable. And sometimes you just want to lead with your best foot, but sometimes your best foot is the one that knows its insecurities. Now, that doesn't mean that you're allowed to dogpile on people either. Don't trauma dump on the people around you just because you want to hold dominion over the crisis of you, because that's just using people. And really think about it, the people who have done that to you and do that to you, those usually aren't the people who stick around. And it's because the makeup of that friendship is fueled by selfishness. You want to be open, but you don't want to be overbearing at the same time. You want to recognize your strengths. You want to have your personal goals. So then you can start picking up these little tips on how to approach life. And you can start picking at the things that don't work for you. Life is this endless road of self-discovery, and picking up things along the road is how you end up finding out who you are. But more importantly, sifting through those things is how you figure out who you want to be, who you want to project to the world. And you find yourself in this cool little groove where you actually start comparing who you want to be versus who you currently are. And with patience and time, you can learn to settle all of those things, where you're then transmitting out to the world all these genuine things about you and who you really are. And somewhere in there, you'll start to view people differently. And slowly, the people who have infiltrated your life who don't belong there will slowly start to filter out. They'll occupy less and less space. And this groovy little thing will happen where then you'll start to attract the energy that you're actually putting out. It's not about reaching perfection, because that is impossible. It's about getting to a place where you've learned how to be seen and doing your own work so that way you can see other people as well. Because real recognizes real, son. Now, like all things, life isn't that direct either. It's equally as important to protect yourself at the exact same time. Depletion is real, and energy vampires will come for you. But with that discipline, that fucking commitment to yourself, to your authenticity, and to your boundaries, you can handle those people with such wisdom and direction. It's such a powerful tool. The ability to question your own actions. That journey inside of yourself is one of the most valuable and worthwhile things that you can do with your time on this earth. But even so, don't forget either that sometimes it's not enough to know your own worth in every situation, because not in every space will that matter. You can meet all of the criterias. You can have it down to a science. You can know for full fact that you are the person most qualified, and you could still get fucked. Again, those misshapen currents, those ebbs and flows, they will come for you. And just because opportunities are seized does not mean that opportunities are granted. A lot of motherfuckers in this world, man, and nothing in this life is owed to you, let alone definitive. And when you let your ego become bigger than that basic understanding, your entitlement will derail all of the hard work that you put in the first place. And what's worse is you can become a fucking boo-hoo look at me person, which can do so much damage because that shit'll seep into all your deepest little cracks. Never disillusion yourself to believe that you are better than the person next to you, unless they fuck kids or like rape people. Man still gotta have his convictions. But what's great about starting with yourself and doing all that work, building genuine connections with people, is that it's all really beautiful practice for the day that you fall in love. Now call me a softie, but I believe in love, and I love love. I'm one of those dudes who really digs on compassion and tenderness in a relationship. I love meeting someone and getting to a place where your understanding and your growth is the most important thing. Just investing in a person and seeing where that closeness can take you. I love that shit. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that shit's easy. Maintaining a meaningful and fulfilling love is super hard work. It's incredibly difficult. And it takes even more work. Only this time, now you got to do it with someone else. So truly, how well can you expect yourself to do in love if you haven't at least begun to ask yourself those questions? You certainly can't expect it from them if you haven't done it for yourself. And if two people don't know themselves, how can they give themselves to the other person? That show your work of yourself when you give that to someone, when you're like, yeah, these are the things that I've explored. These are the things that I struggle with. That's how you build that deeper connection. It's so easy to take advantage of love. It's easy to be thoughtless. You can lose sight of your love like that, and you can fall into this really toxic, it seems like an addiction, if anything, where you just fail time and time again to appreciate your love. And I'm saying this to everyone watching this video, but I'm also saying it to myself. There have been a shitload of versions of myself that have been a terrible, shitty, and selfish person. Truly just a self-centered partner. I wasn't doing my work. I wasn't analyzing my own worth and caring about what I was projecting. Then finding myself in these situations like, why me? I was a boo-hoo, why me guy. Because if you're not looking at your life, you build really outlandish expectations for it. I allowed my actions and my insecurities to dictate who I was instead of allowing those struggles to manifest as open fears. So my feelings inside wouldn't stay trapped and I could learn how to confront them. I still have a shit ton of things that I'm detangling within myself, and I will be for the rest of my life. But being able to share those thoughts, being able to verbalize those struggles to people, that's my way of keeping myself in check as well. So I'm going to wrap this up, but I hope you know that we're in this together. And for how far you've come and for however many bullshit hits you've taken, I'm really proud of you. And I'm so fucking excited to see who you're going to turn into. That's going to be it for this one. Peace, video creeps.